Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. Today is Election Day across the United States. Locally, our elections are overseen by the San Bernardino County Registrar of Voters who issue, collect, and tabulate ballots for federal, state, and local elections. Polls opened at 7 a.m. and will remain open until 8 p.m. There are a number of polling places here in the Morongo Basin. You can find yours at a portal at elections.sbcounty.gov. As long as you are in line at the polling place by 8 p.m., you are entitled to vote. Outdoor ballot boxes located at the Yucca Valley Community Center, the Joshua Tree Branch Library, and 29 Palms City Hall will remain open until 8 p.m. Polling places will be collecting mailed ballots today until 8 p.m. If you're mailing back your ballot, it must be postmarked today, so check collection times before leaving your ballot in a postal box. If you aren't currently registered to vote, you can register today at a polling place and cast a conditional ballot that will be counted once your registration is finalized. Once you voted, you can track your ballot at a state portal. We've got a link to it in this story at Z107.7fm.com. Though the results of the election may not be finalized tonight, stay tuned to Z107.7 for the latest information on local races.
Originally slated for the multi-purpose room, last night's MVCSD special meeting was moved to the Mesquite room last minute to make room for preparations for tomorrow's election polls. After recent feedback from the community wanting more online presence for the CSD, the board started the meeting discussing major updates to the CSD website. The new Streamline engagement package would cost the CSD $225 a month, twice the amount of their current package, but pros include email collecting and saving on stamps for vital mailouts. To sweeten the deal, the CSD wouldn't be billed until July 2025 after a 6-month trial. The board voted 4-0, approving the update. There will be a tree lighting ceremony in Covington Park on December 3rd, and the board discussed spending a modest $150 on supplies for the event, before suggesting they could do a wish list for community donations first. To see what kind of donations they might receive in the coming weeks, the item was tabled until the next regular meeting on November 20th. Finally, the CSD office have requested the procurements of tickets for the fire law webinars titled Advanced Disciplinary Issues and FLSA Bootcamp for Volunteer and Combination Fire Departments, with each webinar carrying a registration fee of $150. Since the whole staff could watch these webinars together to economize the fee, the board approved the procurement of the tickets 4-0. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Gabriel Hart.
The Yucca Valley Town Council will convene for the body's first regular meeting since October 1st. They are set to review several town developments, including the Sports Center and widening of Highway 62. Here is reporter Adeline J. Wells with more on tonight's agenda.
The Yucca Valley Town Council meeting will begin with 2 public hearings on development code changes. The first is to amend the land use compliance review requirements to include irrigation and landscape review. The second is to establish permit procedures to process land use entitlements and development proposals in any land use zoning district. The Town Council will then review several departmental reports concerning developments throughout the town. The Council will consider the Community Center Athletic Facilities project. Town staff will propose an amendment to the 2024-2025 fiscal year budget to accommodate the development, as well as the award of the construction contract for Phase 1, which includes pickleball courts, renovation of the basketball court, an expanded parking lot, restrooms, and seating areas. Town staff will present an agreement with Burtec Waste and Recycling Services for procuring recovered organic waste, as required by Senate Bill 1383. As per state calculations, the town of Yucca Valley is required to procure 1,786 tons of recovered organic waste in the form of compost, mulch, renewable gas, or electricity. Lastly, the Council will review a cooperative agreement with the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority related to widening Highway 62 from Sage Avenue to Airway Avenue. The improvements will expand the highway's 4 lanes to 6, including intersection and traffic signal modifications. Tonight's meeting is open to the public and begins at 6 p.m. at the Yucca Valley Community Center. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Adeline J. Wells.
The 29 Palms Art Gallery will host its November Youth Art Experience this Saturday, and sign-ups are open now. The class will focus on making prints and collages with paints and local foliage. Students will also use some of their prints as a contribution to a group collage that will be on display during the November 30th holiday market. The Youth Art Experience is an engaging series of art-centered classes where students are encouraged to experiment with a variety of art-making materials in a supportive, cooperative environment of self-expression. For more information about Saturday's class and to sign up for the class, which will be held at the 29 Palms Art Gallery, contact the gallery at 29artgallery@gmail.com. The geological formations out on Ghost Road and Highway 247 have been referred to as the Painted Rocks or the Ghost Rocks, and they are a popular spot for people to stop and tag as you enter the Morongo Basin. A group of volunteers gathered this weekend to clean up the rocks and hopefully change the name and the way people use the area. Online news editor Robert Hayden was out there with them and files this report.
Hi Michelle, how's it going?
Good, good. We've already gotten started and the boys over there with the pressure washer are going, so we got one here.
It was an overcast and windy fall morning when I went out and met with Michelle Zoomstein and a couple dozen volunteers on Highway 247. The rocks located right there on Ghost Road are covered in graffiti, and they have been for years. Some tags look hastily sprayed on bare rock, while other larger tags are painted over older ones, resulting in layers of paint that take a lot of work to get off.
Yeah. So like the big alien here, that was a multi-layer, so some of the stuff comes off real easy, but some of the other stuff not so much.
Michelle teamed up with Kaz from Blight Sites. She organizes the giant rock cleanups that happen multiple times a year, and it's a similar job on similar land.
Yeah, and a lot of these areas are sacred areas like Giant Rock, and they need to be better protected, and it's just really a constant challenge. There's not enough manpower out of BLM Barstow. We don't have enough rangers. It's hard. It's really made a difference, at Giant Rock we can tell. So we're hoping that that's going to be the same situation here.
I just want to see Kaz kill the alien. That's the only reason I came out.
Let's do it.
Volunteers showed up on Saturday morning with pressure washers, brushes, gloves, and garbage bags. Like Giant Rock, the area is BLM land. Park Ranger Art is with the BLM and has been out here in this area for a while now.
I've been here for doing this for 27 years. This is all my whole area.
Wow.
You
got a Barstow, right?
Yeah, Barstow Field Office.
What are you dealing with mostly out here when you come out to Johnson Valley?
Believe it or not, it's vandalism. It takes a lot of our time.
While volunteers worked on the paint, Thomas and his buddies were pulling out all sorts of household and construction garbage from the rocks and into a trailer.
Been coming out here my whole life and was tired of it looking like a wasteland behind the rocks.
And this is all going, I'm sure, to the Landers dump?
Correct, Landers landfill. So we all got dump cards. We're just gonna go dump it, get our stamps on our cards, and make sure it ends up in the right place. Wish more people did the same thing.
Tristan and his son Aiden saw the explosion of the tags during COVID and came out to volunteer during the cleanup. He, along with the other volunteers, know that everything won't get done today.
But, I think if everybody just continues to help out and maybe get some more volunteers out here, this place could look amazing. We're going to see a change even from these minimal hours that we're going to be spending today.
If you want to get involved with the ongoing cleanup at the Johnson Valley Painted Rocks Restoration Area, you can visit this story on our website where you can find a longer audio version along with photos and links to the volunteer groups that made the cleanup possible. That's all at Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
If you are a property owner in San Bernardino County, the first installment of your property taxes are due. The official deadline was on November 1st. However, you have until December 10th to pay without incurring a 10% penalty. If you're having trouble paying your property tax this year, there is a state property tax postponement program that allows homeowners that are senior citizens or have a disability to defer the current year's property taxes, but you'll have to meet certain stringent criteria. The deferment of property taxes is secured by a lien against the property which must eventually be prepaid. You can find links for information on this program as well as ways to pay your property tax at this story on Z107.7fm.com. And finally, the Copper Mountain College women's basketball team began their season with a strong win over Southwestern College, 63-43. The victory set a promising tone for the Fighting Cacti, which did not field its team last season. The new season brings enthusiasm and optimism for CMC's women's basketball under the leadership of Coach Chris Groce as they aim to build momentum in the early season games. Copper Mountain College's men's basketball team faced a challenging start to the season, falling to Southwestern College in their opener. Despite their best efforts and intense competition, The men's Fighting Cacti couldn't overcome the hot shooting of their highly ranked opponent. Jordan Morency led the team with 13 points. This game marked the start of a season where Copper Mountain College will look to build on each performance as they navigate the competitive schedule ahead. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmetz.